Hello there. So I've just finished my round and cleaned off and washed the truck, excuse me. And it's made me think of the risk of going on your own rather than a franchise, because you've basically got to do two things successfully. And one of those is a big ask. So the two things are, you've got to learn how to run a business. So if you're coming from being employed, you've got to learn how to run a business. Worry if you've underestimated that, because that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If you can manage to get through any kind of time with that, then well done, because that's very tough. And then on top of that, you've got to find a business that works. And realistically, how are you going to find a business that works? Because you've not only got to have the skills and knowledge to run a business. That's a huge deal. On top of that, you've got to then have the knowledge of doing a business plan. So, and business plans. People have different ideas about a business plan, but a business plan is very basically, but there are more nuances to a really good business plan. But very basically, a good business plan is one that you could take to a high street bank. They would look at it and go, yes, Mr. Shope, you've thoroughly gone over this. We're quite happy to back you with our money. Now, I'm sure most of you have had experiences with banks and institutions and stuff. They don't give stuff up lightly. So a business plan could take you months, realistically, absolute months, but it'll map out everything for, the next 5, 10, 15 years, depending on how long you want the business plan to work for. So in your business plan's obviously going to have the idea in there, and how you do the market research, and how you create your customer avatar, and where you're going to advertise. It's massive, a business plan is. So if you want to go on your own, yeah, it sounds very romantic and yeah. But I don't understand really why, if you wanted to become a doctor or an engineer or an architect or a lawyer, those professions that are still regarded very well, they take years and years. So why is it that you suddenly think you're going to earn the same amount of money working for yourself without all those years of preparation? So you shouldn't be underestimating it at all. And people go on about visualization to help you keep motivated. Well, one of the best motivational tools you'll ever use is think about the bad stuff as well. There's no point. Okay, you could ask a few people, and you could send out a few flyers in the middle of summer, and as if by magic, loads of people want to have a wheelie bin cleaning service. And just on the basis of that, you can think, I've found the next thing that's going to make me a millionaire. But the most successful companies, their market research is thorough. It doesn't leave any stone unturned. So yes, if you go on your own, you realistically need to do a full business course, which could take a couple of years, a proper business course. There, depending on the level you want to go to. And then you're going to have to come up with an idea. But anyway, let's focus on bin cleaning. And then you're going to have to come up with a business plan of wheelie bin cleaning. And if you think you don't need to, because it's bin cleaning and it's really simple, then why, excuse me, alarm going off, then why don't you see bin cleaners everywhere? Bin cleaning, without a shadow of a doubt, and we've done it for 18 years, can earn you a really good income. And customer interaction is just fantastic. But if it was easy to do, as I say, there would be bin cleaners everywhere. And if it was really, hopefully you're trying to get the point that I'm making here, which is, don't become blinded like a rabbit in the headlights because you've asked a few people in summer and everyone wants it doing. Don't twist that to some kind of long-term plan. A long-term plan is a big deal, and it needs execution and knowledge. And the final thing that I will leave you with is, if you go into something unprepared, the chances are you're going to fail amongst a sea of professionals who've done it for a long time. And why not have the backing of people who have already done what you want to do? How easy is that? It's going to be so much more easier than doing it on your own. And yes, there is some kudos to saying I've started this completely on my own. But say it takes you 10 to 15 years to be successful, and a franchise you do it in 18 months. You've been savvy enough to go down the franchising route and waste 10, 15 years less trying to make it work. So just be careful when you think you want to start something on your own.